So bactericidal destroys bacteria, of course. Fungicidal destroys fungi, and then virucidal, of course, destroys viruses. Easy, right? So just think virus is the one with V. They all end in cidal. Fungi, and then bactericidal would be bacteria. And then bacteria is minute one cell microorganisms, can exist almost anywhere, can only be seen with a microscope. So you cannot see bacteria with your supersonic 2022 vision, or my husband has 2010 vision and he likes bragging about it, but he can't see these. So yeah, no, you need a microscope. There are things called non-pathogenic and pathogenic bacteria. So non-pathogenic, these are helpful or harmless bacteria. So think non-pathogenic, they won't cause a path of destroying, non-pathogenic. And then pathogenic are harmful and disease producing when they invade plant or animal tissues. We would be considered animal. And then types of different bacteria. There is a fun chart here. So remember, bacteria is a one called microorganism having both plant and animal characteristics. Some are harmful and some are harmless. Which one is harmful? Not everybody at once.
Genic.
Which one's harmful?
Pathogenic.
Pathogenic. Way to go. I'm lying. Ow. In person, they are just blinking. All right. And then direct transmission of blood or body fluids through touching includes shaking hands, kissing, coughing, sneezing, and talking. I always like telling the stories. When I first got out of lash school, I would practice on my sisters. I have 6 of them, and one of my sisters, she really loves lashes, so I was really jacking her up at the beginning. However, I was talking to her, and I'm like, da 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 da, and I'm like spitting all over her forehead. And she's like, ew, you're spitting on me. And I mean, it's my sister, so I'm like, yo, you're fine, but that's gross. When we talk, there are tiny little particles of saliva that do come out. So I always recommend when you're doing services to wear a mask if you're going to be doing talking for sure. And of course, if your safety. That is not a state mandate. That's just a good practice thing, because I know that when I go to my lash girl, if she doesn't have on a mask, it grosses me out too, because I know she's spitting on me. And sometimes you may even feel it. And guess what you're probably not going to say? You're not going to say anything. You're just going to be like, oh my God, I'm not coming back. She's gross. And you're going to get in the car and like put, germ X all over your face. Now it's burning and it's bad for your skin, etc. But just be careful because it is in our spit as well when you're talking. And then infection, of course, indirect transmission will be transmission of blood or body fluids through contact with an immediate contaminated object such as a razor, a nipper, or an environmental service. So that would be things like our tweezers as well. Okay. This is Fundamentals book, the Fundamentals section, chapter 5. Fundamentals, yeah. I'll post them for you though. And then infection is invasion of body tissue by disease-causing pathogens. And then germs will be non-scientific synonym for disease-producing organisms. Microorganisms, any organism of microscopic to submicroscopic size. And then parasites, organisms that grow, feed, and shelter on or in another organism, referred to as the host. So that, like, our bodies would be the host for COVID-19. While contributing nothing to the survival of that organism, parasites must have a host to survive. So they are typically not airborne. They have to have a host to continue to survive and thrive. Toxins, various poisonous substances produced by some microorganisms, which would be bacteria and viruses. And then a virus will be a parasite. This is considered submicroscopic particle that infects and resides in cells of biological organisms. A virus is compatible of replication only through taking over the host cells producing function. So that virus would then attack those other cells. So like, for example, cancer. Questions about types of bacteria? No, it's a lot. I'm definitely going to post this chart for you, so don't feel overwhelmed. Except for maybe my girl Chara, because she's taught biology. She might know this.
Yeah, cancer's not a virus, but
Oh,
everything
what is
else.
cancer actually considered? I know it attacks the cells.
Cancer,
Well, I
the
guess it's
general
more
term is
still has
just
to do with the
when your
white blood cells, though.
cells divide and they don't know how to stop. Like they start replicating and they don't stop. Causes are different. There's different causes for different types of cancers.
Got it. Thank you, Char. All right, pathogenic bacteria. Who remembers what pathogenic means? Online, help them out.
Harmful.
Harmful.
Causes disease.
Yes. Okay, so cocci is what you'll see is round shaped. You may have heard of staphylococci, which grow in clusters. Streptococci grow in curved lines, and then diplococci grows in pairs, just to give you an example. So these are pathogenic bacteria. And then bacilli and spirilla, spirals or corkscrew shaped. This one would look more like a rod shaped. And these, of course, are pictures that it would be like underneath the microscope. Cocci rarely show motility, which is self-movement. The other two would use slender hair-like extensions like flagella or cilia for locomotion. Locomotion in the ocean. Which is basically like a whip kind of like motion of these hairs moves the bacteria in liquid. Motion. Locomotion in the ocean. Which is basically like a whip kind of like motion of these hairs moves the bacteria in liquid. Motion. Locomotion in the ocean. Which is basically like a whip kind of like motion of these hairs moves the bacteria in liquid. Motion. Locomotion in the ocean. Which is basically like a whip kind of like motion of these hairs moves the bacteria in liquid.